Hey, powerful leaders. Wow, this week has been an incredible week. Amazing things happened. Funny story. I got shit on by a bird in two different places, and I read online that when you get shit on, it means you're about to get lucky and abundance gonna come flowing in, good opportunities, positive things, and this week I received the best news ever. One of my past guests decided to take on my coaching and sign up for 3 months of coaching, and it just blows my mind every single time I have a new client coming in. How powerful, how brave, how courageous making that move is. And it's to be celebrated. Like, I'm a big believer in celebrating and every single time we say yes to ourselves, yes to our growth, yes to our healing, and doing things that we're scared to do, but that we know is going to help us in the long run. So that's my little message for today is for you to celebrate yourself, girl, because you are freaking amazing. So I want you to find 1 to 2 things that you're grateful for that you want to celebrate this week. So, this week's guest, she is incredible. She is a true healer. I had the best time learning about masculine and feminine energy and how to get back into your worth and setting those boundaries and rediscovering who you are after trauma. So, this is a very, very powerful episode, and I cannot wait for you to check it out. So, without further ado, let's hit it. Welcome to the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Anna Patricia Bourgeois, certified business coach. I am here to help you up-level, generate consistent wealth, increase your confidence, attract dream clients, and master your mindset so that you can fully own your power and achieve next-level results in your online business and beyond. Every week, a powerful conversation will take place with amazing guests, or I'll share from my experience to help inspire you to start and scale the business of your dreams while being powerfully you. The time has come to stop playing small, stop hiding, and stop waiting. Now is the perfect time for you to passionately pursue your heart's desire as the powerful leader you were born to be. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I am here today with Maria. Hey, girl.
Hi.
I'm so excited that you're here.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, so feel free to take us on and share with us who you are, what you do, and what got you into what it is that you do.
Sure. Well, who I am today, I call myself CEO and founder of a brand, online content, and I would really call it a female empowerment brand called Gaia Goddess. And Gaia
Mm.
Goddess is the Greek word, and I'm half Greek, for the spirit of the earth. And I believe wholeheartedly we are at a very pivotal time, rather, on the planet
Mhm.
where healing for the planet and healing for humanity is tantamount. In order for that healing to happen, I believe for the planet and for humanity, I believe women first need to step back into their power. This has been a
Mm.
patriarchy led society for hundreds and hundreds of years. There was a time when it was a matriarchy. I won't
Mm.
go into that. And in order for us to heal and have this new earth, as many authors have talked about, and whether you want to call it the
Mm.
fifth dimension or whatnot, the masculine and feminine have to be in perfect balance. And that
Mm.
cannot happen because within us, we all have masculine and feminine. And some
Mhm.
of us within our own selves aren't even balanced in that. That was part of my journey, was balancing and feeling
Mhm.
comfortable in my masculine, which comes in handy when you're
Mhm.
running a business. But also, I believe that women need to heal and get. get their bearings back, feel centered and grounded and in their worth so that they
Mm.
can do what someone in their worth would do, like set a boundary with the
Mm.
masculine or say, "Hey, I don't like the way this business is treating women versus men. Hey, I think we need to change the way business is done on this planet. Or we need to conserve the earth's resources so that my future great grandchildren have a place to live and clean
Mm.
running water," and so on and so forth. So I started my own spiritual journey many years back, but I would say at the death of my mother, I really had an awakening,
Mhm.
and a lot of things started happening very, very, very fast. And basically, I had to rediscover who I was without all of the stories and all of the painful experiences and traumatic experiences of my childhood that would lead me to attract certain people into my life or
Mm.
behave in ways that weren't empowered and you wouldn't say
Mhm.
was a powerful leader. Although I'm a Leo, so I think I always had that leadership energy and I liked being on stage and I liked being heard and all that those leadership qualities were there. There was a lot of fear of
Mm.
failure, and it kept me very small and it kept me playing
Mm.
life very, very safe. I would say I was in survival mode. So come
Mm.
along, my mother dies, I jump on this spiritual journey, I leave a 26-year-old marriage with a man for all practical purposes was like a father figure, so I lose my father and my mother, and I'm just having
Mm.
to heal, and in the course of all the work that I did, the vision for this business came to me, and it really was I went through a lot and I had to heal a lot. And I realized that women are going to need this. Maybe
Mm.
not everybody is as interested in a spiritual path right now at this moment, but I do believe that
Mhm.
we are at a crossroads and people are going to start to see some things outside and maybe some lies and things that they believed or put their faith in that really are going to be exposed. And at that time, every soul on the
Mhm.
planet will have a choice to be really angry or freaked out or to go within and to find the truth that is within each person. And in
Mhm.
order to do, there's healing involved, there's a lot involved, but what we are doing at Gaia Goddess is creating an empowered female community of other powerful leaders and other powerful
Mhm.
healers and putting women back together with women without
Mhm.
constructs of competition, without the lies of we are not as able as men
Mhm.
are to lead businesses, or we're not supposed to, or women are supposed to stay home, or
Mm.
whatever we believed, even what the imagery was on fashion magazines, what it was to be beautiful, or what a woman's
Mm.
value was. We were told it's how pretty you are, how good of a mother you are, but there's so much more
Mhm.
to us than the exterior, right? And we have so many gifts that sometimes
Mhm.
don't get realized until we start to delve deep.
I love that. I love that you created such a powerful community. I think community is so important
Mm.
because it gives you like that inspiration and it gives you like access to other people who are going through the same
Yep.
thing you are going through,
Yeah.
who get you, who see you.
Yeah.
And when you feel heard and seen, it's like it unlocks those portals, for
Absolutely.
expansion.
Yeah. We don't feel like we're alone anymore. And most of my
Yeah.
life, I felt very alone and
Mhm.
very like, why am I even on this planet kind of thing to me, I
Mhm.
realize. So when
Yeah.
I'm together with women on a healing journey and we're all loving one
Mhm.
another and giving to one another and
Mhm.
sharing with another, it's really a joyful experience.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
something that it's just magical and
Yeah.
powerful.
It is. It is. That's why I created this podcast. I really wanted to, give the stage to powerful women to share their stories. So,
Thank you for doing
yeah.
that. And thank you
Yeah.
for answering the call because, like you said, inspiration,
Mhm.
we learn through each other's journeys and through each other's experiences sometime. And I know
Mhm.
I have a partially written book, but I know that there's a very deep story to tell in a book that's a
Mhm.
little different than speaking about things over a podcast. And I can go much deeper with it, but I believe that anybody putting that book down would say, hey, if she could dig herself out of that hole, I could do anything. I
Yes.
really
Ah.
do. I mean, like the phoenix out of the ashes. I mean, really, literally, I dug myself
Mhm.
out of a very deep hole that I felt sometimes
Mhm.
would just consume me. But I
Yeah.
kept doing it. I kept waking up every day and saying, nope, I'm going to
Yeah.
keep walking forward. Nope, I'm just going to keep. And there were times it got a
Mhm.
little hairy there, but I showed up for myself. I showed up for myself.
Yes.
And I won't say that I didn't, that the universe didn't give me some great support. I say
Mhm.
that I got a spiritual dad and a spiritual mom when my mother died and I was orphaned. And in a way,
Mm.
they gave me the belief in myself that I did not have. And
Mm.
I had to have something to cling to because to do it
Mhm.
was so hard. It was so
Mhm.
difficult, but knowing why I had chosen everything. And that's one of the other
Mm.
very empowering things. Like we talk about the solar plexus and your confidence and never feeling like a victim is a really important
Mm.
energy to have and know. And people, that on a level, we have come into this world with contracts. We come
Mm.
in asking to have experiences and lessons. And if I
Mm.
didn't have all of the experiences of pain and suffering, betrayal, abandonment, abuse, whatever you want to
Mm.
call it,
Mhm.
I wouldn't be able to I wouldn't be able to show up for the women that are going through the same things, and I wouldn't have the vision
Mhm.
for what I wanted to bring into the world. So, it
Mm.
was necessary, vital even,
Yeah.
and not that makes it any more fun, but in letting it go and you can finally release it and doing the shadow work, you
Yeah.
can look back on it and say, "Well, it was a story I wrote, and
Yeah.
look what who I'm helping because of it." And so in that way,
Mhm.
it's a beautiful story, all of
Yeah.
it, even the painful part, because without that
Yeah.
part, I couldn't have the story.
Mm. Yeah, I always say that. I always say, like, as painful as it was, like, what I've gone through made me who I am today.
Mhm.
And it made me, like, so inclined to grow and improve and get better and do it for my community, for the women there too. It's not just about me. So it really propels you forward
Mhm.
when you look at it with a bird's eye view, you know?
Yeah, and also not to mention as you heal yourself and
Yeah.
people see you doing it, they may say, like most of my family probably thinks I'm a quack, right? But, they're not interested in the work at the moment, which is fine
Mhm.
because you can't choose for another soul. You can only choose for yourself.
Mm.
Even you can't
Mhm.
even choose for your children, right? I mean, past a
Mhm.
certain thing other than what they're going to eat for dinner, you can't decide how they show up in the world. Only they can do that. And each soul is responsible for that. But I think by leading, by
Mhm.
sharing our stories and our vulnerability, and that I'm still doing the work, don't think that every
Mhm.
day I'm like, "Oh, it's so beautiful today," and no, there's challenges and there's lessons even within
Yeah.
my business, and now I have to learn how to run a business and all that goes with
Mm.
that. But
Mhm.
I'm really truly believe that I'm lighting the way for others. And I believe the higher I raise my vibration and my level, and that's just, your
Mhm.
light, right? That's the level your cells
Mhm.
vibrate at. Um,
Mm.
the higher mine goes, well, then everything around me adjusts in accord. It's like collective consciousness. We're all one. So if
Mm.
everybody worked on themselves, you know,
Yeah.
just a little bit, well, the consciousness on the planet would just go up a bunch of notches, right? And it'd be a
Yeah.
different planet. So I think I really believe that's where we're headed. I really do
Mhm.
believe that we are going to evolve into another level of existence that's isn't as
Mhm.
laden with fear and greed and power mongering and all this other stuff that's been going on, whether seen or unseen.
Mm.
I know we're getting there, and
Yeah.
a lot of people are working as light workers to to help us get there. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that was probably why I came down. It was probably most of my life. It's like, why am I here?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people ask themselves that question too. Like, how would you guide someone that have that question? What would you tell them?
Well, I would say the fact that you are here is just
Mm-hmm.
evidence that you chose to be. So there's something you
Yeah.
chose to be here for. And sometimes if you feel out of touch with that,
Mm-hmm.
then talking to someone that can give you some perspective on that. Spiritual perspective is always great, I think. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so I would say the mere fact that you are means you chose it. So why don't you
Yes.
figure out why you chose it and what you came here to do? And maybe
Mm-hmm.
part of it was suffering, for a little bit, so
Mm.
you could then birth something from that.
Mm. Ugh, so powerful. I love it. So I ask this to everyone who comes on the show, and I'm curious to know your answer. For you, what does it mean to be a powerful leader?
Well, I've been told by friends that until you're willing to admit that you're powerful, you really can't
Mm.
be all the power that you are. Like it sounds so wrong, right? Like the way we were raised, it's like, what do you
Mhm.
mean I'm powerful? Like who goes around saying that? I'm powerful, because such a misuse of power. That's the problem. Power has been misused. Power has been taken. I mean, I don't think you can literally have your power taken away, but I think you can give it away.
Mhm.
And we give our power away. We do. We give our power away. So I think reclaiming those aspects of the self when you gave them away, getting all your soul parts back, all the soul fragments, because
Mm.
in those traumatic
Yeah.
moments, let's say you suffered abuse, parts of your soul do come kind of like split off. They're like, oh, I'm not going to deal with this right now. And so I think
Mm.
grabbing all of that, you want all of you. You don't want to be working with half of you. You want to be working with all of your soul
Mm.
parts. And and then just taking stock of the tools of manifestation. In fact, we are all created equal. And I know that's in the Bible, and I'm not a religious person per se, more spiritual, but we
Mhm.
are all created equal. And as an aspect of the
Mhm.
creator, how could we be anything but powerful? But using the power in the right way. I mean, there's
Mhm.
misuse, and
Mhm.
there's a use for, like, perhaps that's in alignment with your own passion or mission or whatever you want to call it, whatever you came here to do. So I feel like a powerful woman is a woman who knows she's powerful. She
Mm.
knows what she's doing with that, how
Mhm.
she's using it, and believes in herself, trusts in the universe, knows it's not an egoic claim, because the ego will have you doing all kinds of things if you surrender to that. But if you braid
Yeah.
the ego with the divine will, which is the aspect of us that is a creator, then
Mm.
you can really get more oomph behind the efforts that you make, because you're creating
Mm.
consciously, and you're creating in
Yeah.
alignment with the knowing that you are of God or source or creator. And
Mhm.
when you know that, it's a whole different kind of existence. And we
Mm.
all are of that. But, not
Mhm.
everybody acknowledges it, plays with it, works with it,
Mm.
and perhaps more down the road will. I mean, I work with the channel texts of Paul Selig, and I really, really love his teachings. And I think they took me very far with understanding
Mhm.
this concept, and also understanding fear too, because it's a big part of their teaching is
Yeah.
fear. And how, even fear is of God, but just doesn't know it. It's
Wow.
pretty profound what fear will have you. You can't be
Mhm.
powerful if you're in fear. And a quote from his book that I love is, fear would have you think it's your constant companion, when in fact it seeks to
Mm.
control your every move.
Mm.
So getting a handle on that. And we've had a lot of fear in this world, right? With the
Yeah.
pandemic and just so much division, so much,
Yeah.
racism. What is this all based on? It's not love. Everything that's not
Mm,
love is fear. So if
it's
you can't
fear,
call
yeah.
it love, it's fear. So envy is
Mhm.
fear. And envy is showing you that you just don't feel good enough about yourself. And you think that if you had what somebody else had, you would. So you make them wrong for having it, right? And you envy them.
Mm,
But that's fear based. Lack of abundance is fear based. So competition is
mhm,
fear based. That's why I always say,
mm.
women don't have to compete with women and healers don't have to compete with other healers. And that's why on my platform, I'm like, everybody has a spot on Gaia Goddess. I'll promote you all. Together we're stronger.
Yeah, we are. I truly believe it. Thank you so much for sharing that. Like, wow. Like you said it so beautifully. And I feel like having that conversation around fear is so important because oftentimes we're not even conscious of it,
No.
right?
Judgment is fear.
So,
It's an act of
yeah.
separation, but it feels yucky.
Yeah.
It's fear
Yeah.
based. Yeah, it's just all fear-based, and when you become aware of fear and where it's showing up, you get to call it out. You get to say, "Hey, you,
Yeah.
thanks for trying to keep me safe, but, I don't see any rattlesnakes at my feet. There's no bear trying to get into my house. I don't have to go into fight or flight, and is this really true? What you're whispering into my ear? Let me examine it, question it." And then sometimes you could realize it's not even your fear, it was your mother's fear. You're
Mm.
literally just carrying her fear around.
Wow. That's so true. Amen to that.
Yeah, there is something to ancestral work, I'll say. I love
Mm.
all of the spiritual practices. I think there's room for all of them: shamanism,
Mm.
NLP, hypnosis, journaling, affirmations, meditating. I mean, I've done it all. So it'll all be on Gaia Goddess's platform. So how do you tap
Mm.
into your intuition and let it guide you, even in picking out what kind of exercise or what kind of meditation or what kind of information you need to hear in that moment that will take you to
Mm.
the next step, that will give you that next little piece, because they all build upon each other. It's
Mm.
a winding path, but it is a path, and they say layers of the onion,
Mm.
right? That's another
Yeah.
great metaphor for the work, giving women and men the sense that they're their own gurus. The day of the guru to follow around is long gone. Every guru lives within. You just need to tap into that part of yourself and empower it and trust
Mm.
it. And then you can make decisions with your gifts, as opposed to try to
Mhm.
think everything through. Um,
Mm.
spin, and your mind can spin, spin, spin,
Yeah.
spin, right?
Yes. The overthinkers out there. I know who you are. I am too sometimes.
Well, a lot of people are, because we're so conditioned to believe that
Yeah.
the brain is like the most powerful
Mm.
tool we have, when in fact it's the heart. The
Mm.
electromagnetic field of the heart is so much bigger than the electromagnetic field
Mm.
of the brain. You don't magnetize things to you and manifest things to you from the brain. I mean, thoughts are creative, but when you put
Mhm.
feeling behind your affirmations, when you put feeling behind your visualizations, when you actually feel, smell, touch, like in your imagination, you're like, oh, what does my new office look like? What does the chair feel like? How do I feel when I walk
Mm.
in and I smell that fresh leather scent, and the flowers
Mm.
on the table? That is like fueling skills of
Mm.
manifestation. So our hearts are very, very powerful tools. And, I'm more led by my heart than I am by my brain. If I was led by my
Mm.
brain, I would have never started this company. My brain would have said, "Are you kidding me? Do you know how hard that's gonna be to pull off?" You know?
Yes, that's so true. I always say that, like, how can you drop from your head into your heart space?
Mm,
And I think, yeah, serving from the heart, showing up from the heart, and truly caring about other people and serving powerfully, it makes such a
Yeah.
difference, you know?
I mean, you wanna shift your energy. Let's say you're not having the best of
Mhm.
days and you're in the subway and you just start sending love from your heart to random strangers
Mm.
and like, because you are infinite in the amount of love that you have and infinite in the amount of light that you have. So you just like,
Mhm.
"I love you. I love you. I love you." Love and
Mhm.
light. It's like, it can really lift you and
Mm.
it'll also they'll feel it. You know,
Yes.
they will feel it. I mean, so it's a
Mhm.
choice to how to show up in the world and be how to be in the world and what when you get to a point where you're consciously creating,
Mhm.
that's powerful because I catch myself once in a while say, you know, if this works out, and then I'm like, cancel, when this works out. What I mean? It's because we're not because even my people who work with me, we're not conditioned to believe in ourselves and say affirming things all of the time. But that's a choice because we now know that we can, and we can say, well, if something doesn't seem to go right, you can ask a question, "What's right about this I'm not getting?" Because you might not know that it's exactly right. In fact, it's perfect because a week down the road, X, Y, and Z is gonna happen, but we don't see into the future always, right? So, trusting ourselves and our higher selves and our paths is a big part of the power as well, because then
Mhm.
you can accept what looks like failure or what looks like things not working out, and you accept it and say, "No, no, I really believe in this business. There's a reason." And then you find out the reason,
Mm.
you're like, "Gosh, I wouldn't have even thought about doing it that way. That was brilliant." You know what I
This
mean?
is yeah, this is amazing. Yeah, trust is a big thing for sure. And I trust that people will want to go and follow you and join your community because you're amazing. So let us know where we can go to do
Yes,
that.
thank you. Such a cute segue. Well, we are building content now, and I'm so excited because it's fun, it's playful, it's everything I love to do. And so all of these healers are coming in, all of these movement people, yoga people,
Mhm.
meditation, you name it, we'll have it. If not now, eventually. The membership is now free, and
Mhm.
we have a content on our website. So all you have to do is go to Gaia Goddess or www.GaiaGoddessLifestyle.com. And we have free content in the library. And we'll continue our silver membership, which won't have any cost attached because I always want to have something for everyone. And it's all documented on our Instagram, which is also another great place to kind of get acquainted with us because we do little snackable things talking about boundaries or talking about how to start a spiritual journey or how to build an altar for your business, like those kinds of
Mhm.
things. So I would say the Instagram, Gaia Goddess Lifestyle, the website, GaiaGoddessLifestyle.com. Sign up for the newsletter, the blog. The blog's really great because we talk about women in the workforce and how balancing mothering's difficult and the different things that women are dealing with. So we touch
Mhm.
upon ageism or women not feeling good as they age, and the wise woman needs to be revered again. Women in business, supporting women in business, all these kinds of things.
Amazing. So go follow Maria, go join the community. You're awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show
Oh,
today.
it was a pleasure and such a fun discussion. I really enjoyed it, Anne, and I look forward to meeting you again, maybe when we have more going
Yes.
on.
For sure. Let's talk soon. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Powerful Female Leaders podcast. If you love this episode, make sure to spread the message, leave a review, and subscribe. I would forever be grateful for you. I also want to hear from you, and I want to know your feedback and your questions for future episodes. So don't be shy, say hi, and send me a message at Powerful Female Leaders Podcast on Instagram. Until then, I'll see you on the next episode.